Fox 32 News has learned that about 20 inmates at the Cook County Jail could go free tomorrow. They all face charges of illegal gun possession. Prosecutors plan to dismiss those charges in the morning because the state Supreme Court has ruled that the law the charge is based on is unconstitutional. Political editor Mike Flannery reported exclusive details of all this last week, and he joins us now with more. About to happen, is it, Mike?
Yes, it is, Robin. That's what State's Attorney Anita Alvarez says. Now, one defendant with an otherwise completely clean record has been locked up for 14 months waiting for his trial. But there won't be a trial now because the high court's ruling means the gun possession crime he's accused of is officially not a crime at all. Edward Hambrick's already spent more time behind bars at the Cook County Jail than some who've been convicted of violent crimes. His case began 26 months ago when he said he left Pierre, South Dakota, where he'd been working as a computer programmer, to return to his native Englewood for a 20th high school class reunion. Hambrick was staying at his mother's house. Law enforcement sources told Fox 32 News the house is on a block controlled by a faction of the Black Pea Stone Street Gang. While his South Dakota license plates might have drawn attention, Chicago police said they stopped Hambrick here on 79th Street because he wasn't using his truck's seatbelt. That's when an officer found Hambrick's loaded .45 caliber Taurus handgun and 2 magazines with 10 rounds each.
He said, "Whose gun is that in the car?" I said, "It's mine." He said, "Well, why do you have a gun?" I said, "For the same reason you have a gun, to protect myself."
Hambrick said he showed police his Illinois firearm owner's ID card as well as a concealed carry permit valid in South Dakota. Precisely because he'd grown up on the bloody streets of Englewood, he said, he felt he needed a gun to protect himself. Hambrick, who said he once belonged to the National Rifle Association, admits he became belligerent as he talked to one officer.
He said, "Well, Chicago has this ordinance that ban guns and you can't have a loaded weapon, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Officer, did you take an oath to the Constitution?" He said, "Yes, we all did." So right now you're violating the oath and you're violating my rights. They subsequently ignored all of that and arrested me for aggravated UUW.
It's that charge, aggravated unauthorized use of a weapon for personal possession, that the state Supreme Court ruled unconstitutional last Thursday. It's why a spokeswoman said State's Attorney Anita Alvarez will send assistant prosecutors into courtrooms Tuesday. They'll ask to dismiss AUUW charges against about 80 defendants, including 20 or so who, like Hambrick, couldn't bond out and are in county jail. The 40-year-old Hambrick said that for the last 2 years he wouldn't consider pleading guilty even to a lesser charge because it would have instantly ended his career in information technology.
I was getting contract jobs with the federal government making anywhere from $25 to $50 an hour. If I had that kind of conviction, they would just look over my resume.
When he is released, Hambrick told me he plans to hug his children who live here. Then he plans to move to Houston, he said. He said the talk at the Cook County Jail among the inmates is that Houston is the place to go to find a job. Robin?
So they all want to be out of jail if they can be. Couldn't he have paid bond or gotten out?
Well, he was on bond for about a year, but then he sent an email to several officials asking how he could file criminal charges against the judges who were continuing to file these charges against him, who didn't dismiss the charges, as well as file criminal charges against the police who had arrested him. The judges and prosecutors felt that was a threat, and bond ended up being revoked. He's been locked up for the last 14 months, Robin.
Very interesting case, and we'll see what happens tomorrow when 20 people, you say, including this man, are supposed to be let out, and 60 others have the charges dropped as well. All right. Thank you, Mike Flannery.